All right, 340. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Before the Four. I'm digital host A.J. Wuest, wishing everyone a happy Tuesday afternoon. I hope you're all doing well wherever you're watching Before the Four this afternoon, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or the 48 Now live stream. As always, thank you so much for watching and spending just a bit of your Tuesday afternoon here. Now let's begin this afternoon in Decatur, where the man charged with killing 17-year-old Chloe Hastings had his preliminary hearing today. Now Kevin Pinich is charged with the murder after he allegedly crashed into Hastings' car, killing her on May 17th. We'll have updates from today's hearing coming up in our evening newscast. But now moving over to Muscle Shoals, a former pool construction owner was convicted and sentenced this morning on numerous charges of theft of property, forgery, and fraud. Gregory Kirk, who you see on screen, was a pool contractor in Madison County and was accused of stealing money paid to him by customers. According to Attorney General Steve Marshall, Kirk forged a contractor's license, used a forged building permit, and fraudulently used a customer's credit card. Now, Kirk was indicted on 14 counts of theft of property in the first degree, 1 count of theft of property in the second, criminal possession of a forged instrument, forgery, and fraudulent use of a debit or credit card. In his plea agreement, Kirk agreed to serve 20 years in prison. But now, some exciting news for many here in the Tennessee Valley. Earlier today, we learned that hip-hop star Lil Wayne will be taking his talents to the Rocket City. The Orion Amphitheater announced today that the rapper will be performing on September 24th at 8 p.m. as part of his The Carter's 6 tour. Special guests also include Tyga as well as Belly Gang Cushington. Tickets for this show go on sale June 16th at 10 a.m. And actually, it's not June 16th, it is June 6th at 10 a.m. So make sure to grab those tickets. But now let's take a look at the weather. A beautiful past few days here in North Alabama, as it's certainly heating up and beginning to feel a lot like summer out there. But rain chances do loom for tomorrow and Thursday. Let's turn over to First Alert meteorologist Jeff DeNoyer for what to expect. Jeff?
Very good Tuesday afternoon to everybody. We have now managed 4 full days and a half a day back on Friday afternoon with no rainfall, which has been nice. Tracking a lot of sunshine today and a little warm, a little humid for some of you. Temperatures today were maybe a degree or two warmer than yesterday. We got a little bit more in the way of some upper 80s today. A few locations really coming close to 90. Unbelievably hard to fathom that it's not quite as humid as it was yesterday, because when you go outside, it feels like the icky stickies are in place, but it's actually just a little bit less humid than it was yesterday, which is kind of odd. Clear and muggy tonight, around 70, keep it dry. And then for Wednesday, pop an isolated storm in the afternoon. It would favor areas east of I-65, probably more like DeKalb and Jackson County, maybe southern Marshall County. This is not going to be widespread rainfall, but just enough to keep it in the forecast. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. We turn our attention to another stray shower or storm Thursday, but it's Friday is the target time for what could potentially be some strong to severe storms that move through during the afternoon on Friday. Stay weather alert. Right now, it looks like heavy rain, gusty winds, and some dangerous lightning will be the primary concerns. And that will continue into Friday evening. Unfortunately, not done with the rain for the weekend, as more storms are expected Saturday. Some of those storms in the afternoon and evening could be strong or severe, and even some scattered thunderstorms lingering for Sunday, and then remaining what we call unsettled for next Monday and Tuesday, with a few storms remaining in the forecast for early in the week.
And if you've been watching for a while, this isn't your first rodeo. Weather Extra, again, that will be tonight at 9:30. First Alert meteorologist Jeff DeNoyer will be back here in the CTV Center, and he'll be giving all the latest that he is seeing on the radar. Jeff always has a fun time with it, so make sure to tune in again tonight at 9:30 for Weather Extra. You're just not going to want to miss it. But speaking of weather, this was certainly not the year for weather for folks living out in the Shoals area. There were 8 different recorded tornadoes in Lauderdale County alone in a 5-month span. Officials and residents are still cleaning up the debris from the May 20 tornadoes weeks ago. 48's Aria Pons yesterday reported on how those cleanup efforts are going out there. Let's take a look.
From Lauderdale County to Colbert County, officials say they've seen an uptick in tornadoes just 6 months into the year.
This has been a record-setting year in northwest Alabama for tornadic activity.
8 tornadoes recorded in Lauderdale County in just 5 months. Emergency Management Director Brad Holmes says the last time the county saw close to this amount was in 2004, when 6 tornadoes ripped through in a year's time. And there are still several months left of this year. He says thankfully there have been no injuries recorded in Lauderdale County and no fatalities recorded across North Alabama.
Really is a direct reflection of the community buying in and the community understanding the importance of being safe.
Across the river,
You know, you have straight line winds, floods, snows, and 2 tornadoes in a month. You know, it's rough.
Colbert County has tallied up 5 tornadoes in 2025. Officials say the 2 hardest hit areas are Tuscumbia and Brickhattan. Tuscumbia Mayor William Foster says more than 14 million pounds of debris has been picked up, half of it from Tuscumbia alone.
It was a lot of us, like there's no way it's gonna hit us. You know, it's gonna hit everybody else but us. But when it hits you and does damage and you're sitting a block away from it, it changes perspective. And I just want everybody to know, you know, when that alarm goes off, it's going off for a reason.
So their advice?
Severe weather can happen anytime, regardless of whether or not we're in season or out of season. So for folks in the shoals, we recognize that weather can change very, very fast, and we can go from having a bright, sunny afternoon to having tornadic weather. So always remain vigilant.
Leaders say it's very important to have several ways to keep an eye on storms. They say weather radios are very reliable, and of course you can always watch us here on 48. Reporting in Lauderdale County, Aria Pons, 48 on your side.
And now a story in case you missed it out of Huntsville. Huntsville Hospital recently received a failing safety grade in a new report. 48's Nick Ballinger tells us what this score means and why the hospital received it.
Huntsville Hospital's failing safety grade from the Leapfrog Group doesn't bode well versus other hospitals in the area. It was given the lowest grade in the region, with Athens Limestone, Crestwood, and Decatur Hospital all faring better. Leapfrog data found Huntsville Hospital had above average deaths from treatable conditions, the hospital's worst performing category. A spokesperson from Huntsville Hospital issued a statement saying that rating is just not accurate. Quote, the hospital did not complete this voluntary 353-page survey, yet Leapfrog chose to publish a rating with incomplete information. So where did that information come from? Leapfrog Group is a nonprofit watchdog group that provides safety grades for over 3,000 hospitals in the U.S. Hospitals are graded on a range of categories from infections after surgery all the way to hand-washing practices. Leapfrog claims grades are based on data that's publicly available, like Medicaid records and data provided by the hospitals through surveys. But it turns out more than 24% of Huntsville Hospital's grade came from not filling out that 353-page survey. A spokesperson from Leapfrog said a hospital's participation or non-participation in the Leapfrog Hospital survey itself does not improve or worsen their score. But the organization's grading breakdown contradicts that statement, saying if the hospital does not have data from the last 2 rounds, it's given, quote, limited achievement, the lowest score available. So, Huntsville Hospital was given the lowest score for 4 categories, totaling 24% of its grade because the survey wasn't completed and no other data was available. The hospital also made it clear in the statement, even though it would rather have employees focused on treatment, it would dedicate more resources to completing future surveys.
And now coming up after the break, a look into the new police chief in Decatur and student feeding programs now that school is out for the summer. We'll talk about it all in 1 minute. All right, the time is up. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Before the Four. I looked on Facebook during the break, and I saw the comment from Miss Donna Oliver, or should I say Miss D.O. from PC out of Phil Campbell. Donna, how are you doing? I will tell Jeff that you said hi as well, but thank you for watching. Always appreciate it. Thank you, D.O. from PC. But now we're going to move out to Decatur, where yesterday a new police chief was sworn into the role. Tory Mack yesterday became the new head of the police department. It all comes after former chief Todd Pinion resigned after growing pressure from many in the community. Pinion was replaced by Nadis Carlisle, who served as interim chief until yesterday when Mack was sworn in. 48's Callie Neese reports on the new chief and changes coming in Decatur. Let's take a look.
Decatur, you got change today. I will bring you change.
The new Decatur police chief is Tory Mack. He was a captain at the Birmingham Police Department, and City Council President Jacob Ladner says that Mack's resume speaks for itself, saying that Mack has many years of experience in the military and law enforcement. But that's not the only reason why he believes Mack is the perfect fit for DPD.
One thing I've said for a while now is we got to find somebody that's just, they know it's going to be challenging, but they're going to dig in. They're ready to work hard, and it's going to be a challenge. And Tory has expressed he is ready to do that. So
Ladner acknowledged that it is a hard time to come in as police chief in Decatur. The last chief stepped down after receiving a lot of pushback from the community in the wake of the police shooting death of Steve Perkins. Mack said that he is ready to be the change Decatur is looking for.
You know, we've been plagued for the last 22 months. We have to get out into the community. We have to bridge that gap. And that's my goal. Meet with the clarity, stockholders, business owners, citizens, and the police, the police department, and let them know we must be intentional if we want to get from under this cloud. That's my goal.
Mack adds that he is ready for whatever might come his way.
I'm not going to shy away from scrutiny. I think I'm built for it. Once again, my previous employee, Stephanie, prepared me for it. So any questions pertaining to the police department, I'm your man. Bring it to me.
Reporting in Decatur, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
And now to the Sand Mountain area, where many school districts are working hard to make sure students are staying fed now that school is out for the summer. 48's Margot Gray reports on these summer feeding programs.
Albertville City Schools are a few of many school districts on Sand Mountain, making sure families are fed during summer break. The school district is participating in Break for a Plate, which provides breakfast and lunch to students during the month of June.
It's a perfect way for your kids to come and get a well-balanced meal. It's fresh fruits and vegetables, and it takes some of the worry about what to feed them.
Interim Director of the Child Nutrition Program, Kristen Taylor, says this is a program that is valued by the community and the kids it feeds.
We are really blessed. We usually get thank you letters, and the kids draw pictures, and yes, they very much appreciate it.
Nutrition employees and volunteers work hard to cook the meals each day and carefully craft menus for each week, much like the normal school year. In Albertville, breakfast and lunch will be served Monday through Thursday. Taylor says this is a cause close to her, as it has a great impact on families needing extra help.
I know I was a mother of 3, and we would pop in and my kids ate for free, and then we would go on and do other things. It's, there's no stigma. It's for everybody.
Fort Payne City Schools and Scottsboro City Schools are also joining in on the cause. Schedules and menus can be found on their corresponding child nutrition websites.
All right, and now let's turn over to the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscasts. Lawrence County looking for permission to enforce immigration laws locally. 48's Aria Pons will have those details. Speaking with Huntsville Housing Authority on new security measures after 2 homicides in just 5 days. 48's Faith Delp is on that this afternoon. And finally, Scottsboro community members meeting tonight about a new proposed quarry the city is looking to build. 48 Savannah Sap. We'll have those details coming up, and these are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscasts. Now it is time for Facebook fun. And our 48 Facebook question of the day: what is the best part about summer in Huntsville, Alabama, here in the 256, or really just the Tennessee Valley in general in North Alabama? What is the best part about summer? That is what I want to know, and let's see what you all had to say. Let's see. Adam said, when it's over, bring on the snow. Adam, I think that makes one of us, certainly not me. I love the summer, do not like the cold. Joel said, it's not winter. I feel you on that, Joel. It is always great when it's not winter in my book. It's not dark at 5 p.m. That is another plus here in the Tennessee Valley. It starts getting dark at 4:30 in the winter. We have a little bit more daylight to work with. Melissa, a garden, barbecue, and swimming. Those are three great things about the summer, absolutely. Stephanie said air conditioning. Now that is a absolute necessity here during the summer in the Tennessee Valley. I gotta have that AC, gotta crank it all the way up. And then John Kayla said the trash pandas, absolutely. There's just something about baseball in the summer. Getting a hot dog, camping out with the family, maybe going to see a baseball game. All great things about the summer, and baseball is truly one of those things that you have to do over the summer. It's America's favorite pastime, and it is such a great thing to do over the summer. Absolutely brings back so many memories. But now, thank you all for commenting on today's 48 Facebook question of the day. I greatly appreciate it. That is just about all the time I have for today's Before the Four, but thank you all for sticking around and spending just a bit of your Tuesday afternoon here. I hope you all have a great night. Enjoy tonight's evening newscast, and as always, thank you so much for watching. You all have a great night.